everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to be getting connected with Aphrodite today. So, one of the big energies hitting us all right now, it has a lot to do with heart-related learning, okay? So, a lot of people are going through challenges of the heart. So, emotional challenges of the heart, relationship challenges, feeling it in the heart, and this Aphrodite energy has been just following me the last few days. And I know that I need to tap into this and see what the message is for all of us. So Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty. But she's sort of portrayed as this like ultra sex goddess, right? But really she's about the beauty within. And how do you become balanced with the beauty within yourself? And how do we beautify the world to be a reflection of the beauty that we actually feel inside ourselves? So to beautify the world, we have to beautify our inner essence. So we're creating the mirror, right? The reflection. Inner beauty. Now we create a beautiful world. So I'm going to relax now and get tuned into her energy. And we'll see what she has to share with us all about the energies hitting the planet right now. Messages for anyone going through any type of heart challenges, emotional trauma, anything like that. Ways that we can heal and cope, ways that we can beautify our inner selves, that sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to relax now and get connected here. So the first thing I see, I'm walking upstairs, and these stairs have a golden hue to them, but they're also quite basic. It's almost like ivory and gold intermixed, and it's very simple looking but elegant. And I'm taking each stair taking the stairs one step at a time, so I'm not getting ahead of myself here. And I can feel this. I feel myself taking it one step at a time. So I'm not running up the stairs. I'm focusing on each step. And she shows me that there's quite a lot of steps between where I am and where she is standing. And she's talking about time. So if I'm wanting to communicate with her, I'm really excited to communicate with her, I should be running up the stairs to reach her, right? So what does it mean when I'm choosing to take it one step at a time? Slowly but surely I will get there, and then we will have this interaction where we're closer to one another. And what does this type of message have to do with our lives? How can we work with this image and time? Why are we rushing things? Why do we need to get up these stairs so fast? Oftentimes when we're trying to get up the stairs too fast, we trip up the stairs, literally, and it's funny. She's actually showing me pictures of people tripping upstairs, and it's sort of like try not to laugh challenge. So it's really funny right now. Okay, so she's saying that we need to slow down, and we need to take it one step at a time. And not to be in too big of a rush or a hurry, because you're always going to get to the destination. So I am. I'm actually just not going to worry about how quickly I want to reach my goals or my dreams or where I'm at right now. I'm just going to take it one step at a time and just let go of overthinking things. Let go of too much attachment to life responsibilities and just experience simplicity. A slowing down of time by choice. It's interesting because Aphrodite isn't revealing her face. So I see her in this pink gown, and there's a bit of white in the center of it, and she has a feminine form, but it looks more like kind of a prom dress, so it's not really fitting the curvature of her form, but you can see that she has curvature. and you could see her divine feminine form, but you can't see her face. So she's completely cut everything off, so we're just literally looking at her from the neck down. I'm not sure why she's doing that. There's a meaning to everything. She's laughing at me and telling me that I'm staring at her boobs. It's like, well, I'm trying to look at your face, but you're not letting me see your face, so I just have to look at your chest, I guess. So she's making a joke about this. And she is bringing sexuality into this conversation. And she's actually taking her dress off now and revealing her feminine body. And she's asking me if that makes me feel uncomfortable. So let me see how I feel. I mean, I feel like in our culture, we give each other privacy, right? So I'm wanting to give her privacy because she's getting undressed, and that's how I feel comfortable communicating with her. So yeah, I'm not trying to look at her body. She wants to talk about this. Okay, so this is important. This is important. And she wants to know how you feel about this. Because there's some people, if they saw a voluptuously curvy shaped attractive woman suddenly getting undressed before them, might have a different feel to this interaction here. And she wants to bring it on down to what is a deeper truth to nudity, and why does it make us feel different ways? Nudity. Does it create an instantaneous sexual arousal? Nudity. Does it create awkwardness and discomfort? Does it make you feel less attractive to see somebody who is now more attractive? And to see them naked, so now you're evaluating your body and putting yourself down, which happens a lot. She's showing me many scenes of women checking out women, not in a sexual way, but just in a way to figure out if they're attractive enough, if they find that look appealing, if they want to change up their style. But women oftentimes put themselves down. And she's wanting to know what it is about society that encourages this behavior. Because it's not healthy. It's not a healthy behavior. I can feel how deep she's taking this, and I can't quite keep up with the depth and the language in order to communicate the raw meaning of this message. So we're going to have to take it one step at a time. It's interesting because I had intended to channel Aphrodite to share messages about the heart, and we're talking about sexuality. So we're just going to go with it, okay? She's saying, is this message about the goddess of sex, Aphrodite, or is this message about nudity and how we relate to nudity? And is nudity a beautiful thing or an ugly thing? And how do we feel about our naked bodies? How would we feel around each other if we were all hanging out naked? She says it's hard because we don't know how to conceive of a world where we aren't judgmental of each other's forms. We hear the Adam and Eve story where they were in the Garden of Eden and they were free and they didn't have any of these burdens of thinking about their nudity or feeling naked. But we do feel naked when we take our clothes off. We feel that. So how in the world would we create a society where that was a safe experience? And she's talking about human ascension related to this as well, because you'll hear about the evolution of the human race and how we are raising our vibration. But what does that mean exactly? Because her interpretation is the evolution of the human race becomes animalistic, back to the raw roots of their naked forms. Do you see the advancement of the human race getting naked and being okay with that? Because she does. That's what she's saying. What does it take for the human race to take this leap here from where we are now to what she's talking about? How can we work on ourselves? How can we work on society in order to encourage a love of our bodies and acceptability? But it's more than that. It's feeling natural. It's just feeling natural. She wants to talk about human ascension some more, as she shows me going up the stairs one step at a time. Human ascension. It's one step at a time. It's not the whole staircase like that. It's one step at a time. Okay. We're shifting the conversation a bit. The energy's changing here, and I'm feeling sadness in the heart, and then it sort of comes up through the throat and through the eyes and face. So it kind of brings me down. So the sadness is just sort of coming up and then bringing me down. I feel this. And I feel that this sadness bringing me down is encouraging me to look at the ground instead of to look straight ahead, and to embrace the people walking by with simply a smile or a friendly demeanor. So I'm looking down instead of looking at people. And she wants to know if the human race has developed a natural inclination to look away from one another, to carry a sadness, potentially not fully are we aware of it, but what feels most natural to us is to look away from one another instead of facing each other, instead of opening up to one another. We are now becoming accustomed to looking away. And what is it about society that is encouraging this behavior versus a society that encourages us to embrace one another and be perfectly okay with nudity? So are we actually advancing as a human race? Or are we still struggling with something that we need to work on here? Okay. The next thing, this is quite a lot because my head feels congested and my third eye and my eyes are bothered by this. It's exhausting. My throat's tight and jammed up. And I feel kind of on the edge, like my life is never going to be what I want it to be. Like anger is starting to come out and even shake me up. And it's just pure anger and disappointment and abandonment, and there's no solution, and what are we going to do about it? So she's allowing me to feel this right now. She says we put a lot of energy into the anger that we carry about the world today, but we aren't putting a lot of energy into healing the planet through making these types of changes to better our race so that we can embrace one another instead of rejecting each other without realizing that we are doing it. We are rejecting each other constantly. and we are analyzing ourselves based on other people, and now we are rejecting ourselves too. So we're a race of rejects is what we've become, and we can't even look each other in the eye. She said that makes her very sad. And now can you see yourself walking up the stairs of Ascension? Or do you now wonder here, what's going on? Are we actually ascending, or are we just hoping that's happening right now? Okay, so now she's directing our attention to our sexual bodies, so sacral chakra area, and we all have a divine womb. I don't care if you're male, female, the sacral chakra is a circular space where energy is stored there, and it's like a womb space, okay? And we're focusing on this right now. All right, there's a lot of dirtiness that we carry inside this space. And whether you have a physical sexual disease or not, a lot of people carry energy infections in this space, and they make us feel dirty and disgusting. And we feel sexually disgusting as well. We feel embarrassment of our bodies. This is hard. This is really hard. There's so much more that could be said about this. A lot of the terrors that people go through, interactions with each other that turn into a wronged sexual experience, creates more energy infection and feelings of disgustingness. And it happens to both sides. So the rapist feels disgusting too, as well as the one who has been raped. So what exists now is disgustingness. And I'm sort of like, man, Aphrodite, you're ripping us apart here. I mean, gosh, I feel like it's a hopeless, helpless world. So what is your solution to this? What is your solution? She shows me a video game. And she plays a song in my being, and I can't think of who sings this song, but the title is something like video games, and it's a love song, and it's really deep, and it's modern. It's a modern song. If you look up YouTube and type video games song, I guarantee it'll come up. I can't think of who sings. It's a female. And the energy that comes through this song is depressing and beautiful and spectacular and deep. I mean, it's many emotions. Many emotions are expressed in this song. It's amazing how many emotions are expressed. And it's a depressive, there is a depressiveness to the melody. But it doesn't necessarily make you feel sad. It makes you feel deep. And it makes you feel a meaningfulness that you didn't anticipate in the song. And a beauty about it as well. I feel like it's a song. It's an artwork. It's a piece of art, this song is. So there's a video game screen. I feel like she's going to show me something here related to this, interconnected to this song. But nothing comes up. I mean, you could define this as a Minecraft world without really any trees or any... I mean, it feels empty. It feels like it's missing all the details of a video game. It's missing all of the juicy parts that make the video game worth interacting with. And so now we're paralleling it with this song and with love. And how do video games and love pair exactly? What is it that we're looking for in the video game? And without the video game, are we empty people? And does love and emptiness go hand in hand? It's pretty deep. She's reminding me that I was wanting to talk about heart energy and vulnerability and relationship challenges that people may be going through right now. So we're talking about relationships and love and struggle. But we're talking about the collective of our human race and human ascension. We're talking about nudity. We're talking about our balance and love of self and each other on a pretty intensive, deep, extraordinary level. And I say, okay, so let's say there's no such thing as video games anymore on the entire planet. Are you saying that video games are leading us down a pathway of emptiness? We are looking for something in the video game now instead of inside of ourselves. She shows me the human race and the earth, and all video games suddenly vanish. And the look on people's faces, and the confusion and the scratching of the head. And in a lot of people's minds, they say, oh, well, we know how to make the technology, so we'll just bring it all back. She says that's part of the problem because we can't let go of the video game. Even if they were all to disappear all of a sudden, we would choose to continue to use the technology and to bring all the video games back as the solution here to the problem. The problem is a world without video games. She's showing me the superficial mind of the human being and how we get so caught up in very pointless activities. Thousands and thousands of hours devoted to pointless activities and pointless expressions of emotions based on pointless activities that are not bringing us into balance with our own natural forms and designs. How do we return to the Garden of Eden? Then you ask, well, let's say all the video games disappear, and now what? Does that solve the problem? She's saying, well, does it? Because I see the human race says, oh, well, we know the technology would just bring this back. So I tell Aphrodite that I'm okay with the human race, Aphrodite, and I'm okay being uncomfortable looking at you naked. And I'm okay not knowing what your face looks like in this channeling, and I'm okay with literally everything you are saying, because part of my role with being human is finding a way to love all the other humans despite what makes us most vulnerable and perhaps even failures of a dream we all desire, which is freedom. The energy is shifting here. Energy is changing. She says, how do you know? How, it's something like, how do you become okay with yourself? When we stop looking at the bigger picture of everybody else, how do you become okay with yourself? And she's curious to know if you are noticing some of these things that she's talking about. And how can you work on yourself in conjunction with these things? And this is coming from myself here, Abbey. But a message like this is for you to contemplate, all right? It's called wisdom. It gives you perspective. And so I just want to tell you that so you don't feel totally distraught here. But it is powerful. I think we all can agree that Aphrodite's message is quite raw and powerful, and you can't really argue with it, can you? She comes to me and all right, this makes me kind of emotional. It's really okay, I'm going to hold it together. It's a really kind gesture. It's full of a lot of meaning. But she shows me myself, and she shows me myself as many, and how hard we are trying to climb that stair. How hard it is. And when will somebody come down from the top of the stair to help us? Sometimes we don't even know how to help ourselves. And it's hard. And so she takes away the burden for a moment of what she's showing me in the scene, which instantly triggers a lot of emotion because it's just so much meaning here. And she takes the burden and makes it disappear for a moment. And she just comes to me this time instead of me going to her. And she gives me a really long hug. And she says many things when she's hugging me, and they're very kind things. Like, kind of like that reassurance that no matter what, everything's gonna be okay. And to remember how beautiful you are, just as you are. And what a champion you are just to get up one of these steps. But it is her role to be a teacher and to help us to see something that we're not acknowledging here on a level of wisdom instead of some superficial message about human ascension. This isn't a superficial time. It's a time to get real here. That's what she's saying. She says that she loves everybody on this planet. She adores the human race because she watches how we struggle and how what is within us. What is the pain that we carry constantly, trying to overcome that pain all the time, seeking help longing for help, trying to figure out how to help ourselves without a lot of direction, without a society that is even supportive anymore. And she's in awe of the courage that it takes to be a human being. Yeah, but then she says again, my role though too is to help the human to see. And this is the message that I want to share today. It's pretty amazing. I'm gonna have to take a lot of deep breaths here. That was really powerful. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. I'm going to look up that song and I'll put a link to it in the description. So if you're curious about it, you can listen to it pretty easy. And if any of you are interested in working with me one-on-one for a psychic session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, everybody. Thank you again. And I hope you have a wonderful day.